AI. So it has pretty much embedded itself into every industry in the world right now, and music is no different. AI mastering has been around for years, and today we're going to be looking at DistroKid's Mixea. So if you want to see how Mixea compares to a real mastering engineer, being myself, then stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So if you are into music production, audio mixing, mastering, or just creating music in general, then this is the channel for you. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can be part of our community. Now, in today's video, we are discussing Mixea by DistroKid. So Mixea is an automated AI online mastering service where you simply upload your song, it masters it, you can adjust a few parameters, and then it's done. It's basically ready for release, at least so they say. So in this video, we are going to master a song with Mixea, and then we're going to take that master and we're going to put it up against the master I did of the same song and see who comes out on top. And then we're also going to analyze the data of the Mixea master and kind of look under the hood and see what's going on. So between those two scenarios, it will probably give you a pretty good idea whether you want to use this service or not. And if you do, I have a link in the description below where you can try the service to get the first master for free. Okay, so definitely check that out. And with that being said, let's get further into today's video and let's actually master a song with Mixea. All right, so here we are on the DistroKid website, and to get to this page here, you have to first create your DistroKid account and then log in. And then to find Mixea, you simply have to click this drop down right here, and then you'll see Mixea is right here. So let's click on that. All right, so this is the Mixea page, and all we have to do to master our track is simply click the Upload a Track button here, and then drag our file onto here, which I'm going to do right now. And this is Circles by In Your Memory, in case you were wondering what we're mastering today. All right, so I did fast forward a bit. It took about 2 minutes to master the song. And when the song is done being mastered, it takes you to this page here where you can preview the master and then also hear the original. So you can go back and forth between them so you can hear the difference. Now, we do have two options down here to modify the master. So the first is intensity. So intensity is going to determine how much processing and compression is applied to the master. So the higher we go with this, the more processing is going to be applied. So it's going to make it louder, but that could be a good or bad thing. It depends. It depends on the genre and your actual song. So you're going to need to play with this. And then for the EQ options, we have 5 different settings here between brighter and warmer. So brighter is going to add some upper mids and highs to the track, where warmer is going to enhance the lower mids. Okay, so why don't we play this master here and I'll see what kind of adjustments I want to make. All right, so as you can hear, there is obviously a big difference between the original and the master. The master is much louder, much fuller, and much bigger sounding. And for intensity down here, I was kind of going between neutral and high. I felt like high was walking the line of being overprocessed. I wasn't getting any pumping, but I just felt like to play it safe, I wanted to stay at the neutral level, and that's what I did. Now for the EQ options, I felt like after the song was mastered, it might be just a hair on the bright side, but acceptable. So I was thinking maybe I want to bring this one notch to the warmer side. But after I did that, I felt like it was also walking the line there of being maybe a little bit too muddy. It was very close. So again, to play it safe, I decided to go with the neutral setting. Now, if you read the Mixea documentation, which can be found on the DistroKid website, it says that a lot of users do end up going with neutral for both intensity and EQ, and that seems to me to be the safe bet. So with that being said, our master is finished, and all we have to do is download the track by clicking Download Master Track. All right, for some reason, when I clicked that button, it took me to a master or new track page. However, to get to where your master tracks are, all you have to do is click this button right here, and it will take you to this page here. So for our song here, to download it, we just have to click this drop down here and choose the format we want to download it in. So for the comparison track, the one that I mastered, it is 24-bit 48K, so we want to have a fair comparison. So we're going to download the Ultra HD. So we'll name this, what do we want to name it here? We'll do Circles Mixea, and then I'm going to save it. And our track is now finished. So now we're going to get to the comparison portion of this video and see how Mixea compares to a real mastering engineer, being myself, and we'll see who comes out on top. So before we listen to these masters against each other, we want to look at their data first. And to do that, we're using a software called Expose 2 by Mastering the Mix. This is a phenomenal piece of software, and if you don't currently own it, I recommend that you get it. I have a link in the description below where you can purchase it. Now, what Expose 2 does is it analyzes several things within your track. So it does integrated LUFS, short-term LUFS, true peak, your dynamic range, your balance between left and right, any phase issues. It does all that for you. So what you're looking at here is the first track right here at the top. This is the Mixea master, and then my master is beneath it. So some key takeaways here is the Mixea master is -11.5 integrated LUFS. Mine is -8.5. So mine's actually 3 dBs louder. So maybe if we did the loud setting on the intensity for the Mixea master, we would probably be about the same. But don't worry, I'm going to match levels when we actually listen. But that's just saying my master is 3 dBs louder. Now here's something interesting. The Mixea master's true peak level is 0.5. That is no good. Our true peak level needs to be at least -1. Some cases, even Spotify likes it at -2. I do all mine at -1. As you can see here, this is -0.93, which is basically -1. So that's really not acceptable. I'm not saying a streaming service won't take it at that, but that's very surprising to see the true peak at that, okay? Now, the other issue with the Mixea master here, at least by the software, is that the loudness range is very small. So it's 2.4 dBs. So that's the long-term loudness difference between like the choruses and the verses and such. Now mine's 3.1. It's really, to me, that's not a big deal. Those aren't too far off from each other. And this song isn't very dynamic. It's just loud the whole time pretty much, okay? So those are, some things you need to take into account here. Next, let's actually listen to the Mixea master. And let's put tonal balance control 2 on it by iZotope, and let's see how it does on the rock setting. All right, so looking at this graph here, this is kind of a freeze frame of what it was when we were playing the song. It actually changes when you stop it a little bit. So ignore the highs and the lows. Those were pretty good. Our biggest issues were in the low mids and the high mids. So the idea is that you keep this white line within the green area at all times. Now, the white line was going beneath the green quite a bit on the low mids, which means our low mids were lacking, essentially thinning out our mix. Now, the high mids here were occasionally going above the green, which means that this is going to, depending what you're listening on, sound a bit ear piercing. And if you listen for long periods of time, you're going to get ear fatigue. Okay, so this isn't great. Now, what they did was they essentially created the S, as I call it, where they dip the lower mids and they boost the higher mids. They just overdid it. Okay, so what you're seeing here is an uncommon. It was just overdone. So with that being said, let's actually now hear back and forth the Mixea master against my master. All right, so who came out on top? Well, let's actually look at this at a high level here. So the Mixea master is definitely brighter than mine, and mine is definitely thicker in the lower mids. But honestly, I just want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below and let me know which master you think is better, okay? Now, I do want to mention some key takeaways there. So as we know, the Mixea master true peak level is actually plus 0.5. It needs to be in the negatives. It needs to be -1. That's the perfect true peak level. -2 would also be good, but we really want to shoot for -1. And then if you noticed, the regular peak level was actually 0. That's louder than we do for CD. For CD, we do -0.1 or -0.2, okay? So I think that's definitely something that DistroKid needs to address with their Mixea service. If there was something, in there that allowed us to set true peak that I missed, or if we could have chosen where this is for CD or streaming, I didn't see any of that in there. So if I missed that, let me know in the comment section below and I'll definitely pin that comment, okay? Now, another thing is the frequency balance. We know it was creating the S, it was dipping the lower mids, it was boosting the higher mids, and that's not wrong. It was just a little bit overdone here, and we probably could address that if we shift the EQ over to warm. That probably would have smoothed that out a bit there, okay? And then lastly, the loudness range was interesting. So my master was louder and it had more range than the actual Mixea master. So that tells me that the Mixea master is probably doing some upward compression in their algorithm, which is perfectly fine, but it was just kind of interesting. I didn't really have a problem with that. So overall, you got a pretty good idea from this video what Mixea can do, and you know some of the downfalls here, and you got to hear it audibly, all right? So if you want to use Mixea, again, there's a link in the description below. Go get your first master for free. So if you end up liking this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe so I make this content for you and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video when it comes out. And if you enjoyed this content, check out my review/tutorial on the Waves AI online mastering. And with that being said, until the next video, I will see you guys later and peace out.